Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Just Read VI and I am back with another video. Welcome back, you guys. We're still in September. If you saw my previous video, my first video in September, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for watching. I said in that video I'm gonna try to post 2 videos this month, which I had to, but these new releases this month, there's no way I could not do it. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. It's Just Read VI and I am super excited to have you guys. So my content really entails, I'm currently doing a 100 book challenge. So with that being said, I do reviews and book discussions. Here on this channel, I do full written reviews on Instagram. So you could definitely be sure to head over there and follow Just Read VI. I share when I post videos and all of that jazz. So definitely follow me over there. But if you are a Just Reader and you are back, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. I appreciate it so much. I love you guys. Yes, so today we are in the 70s, you guys. I am in the 70s, which is right where I need to be to make this 100 book goal work for the year. So I'm really excited about that. Today's video, I'm going to be discussing 71, which is a lot like Adios. Great book. Men of Action, which was 72. Desperate Measures by Brenda Jackson. Love this woman dearly. This was also a new release. And the last one that I literally just finished today, Life Unscheduled by Kristen Rockaway. I am pushing it so hard to find the time to read, because sometimes it's harder. It's hard, but it's such a nice release. This is an escape for me and I'm so relaxed when I read. It's just such a good getaway. So that's something I would definitely suggest if you are somebody that plans and you always what your next move and thing is that you have going on or to do. Definitely consider reading, or just that quiet time for you. That's my quiet time. That time where even if it's in the middle of a stressful day and I have a few minutes to maybe read like a chapter or a page, it brings me down. So yes. And let's get into this video, these book reviews. So first of all, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. This is just amazing. I was going to read and review this book, A Lot Like Adios by Alexis Daria. Period. I was gonna do it because you had me at Ola was just, there was no way I was not going to be reading this book. I was counting down the months and the days to read this book, because I think I read You Had Me at Ola in June and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to wait till September 14th specifically to read this part 2. So I was like, no, I have to get this book. So she dropped it in Hispanic Heritage Month, which was great. I did not get to read much. Well, the month is still young, but I'm currently probably on the last book that I'm going to be able to read for September. That's not going to be included in this video due to time. But yeah, I'm going to probably get one more book in, and it's not a Latinx by a Latin author. But yeah, this book was just fabulous. Just a fun fact, my father's Dominican, so I am Hispanic, and my husband, both sides are Puerto Rican. So we definitely have some Latin flavor in us. But yeah, it was just, the culture and how she writes is just phenomenal. So yes, A Lot Like Adios, this book. So my summary of this book, I was super excited for it, like I stated before. After reading You Had Me at Ola, I was like, what is she going to do with this book? It superseded my expectations. Fabulous, just fantastic. Spicy, sexy, charming, the love story of Mish and Gabe. And it was just so beautiful. High school, they weren't sweethearts, but they were best friends and they kinda had chemistry, but they didn't really know how to manage it. So they kind of separated. He kind of ran off. He had family issues he was dealing with. They came back and it was just undeniable, the chemistry. And I just love that because sometimes we don't know what's for us and we kind of try to run away or like, no, I don't want this, you and for me. But, love prevails, and it prevailed in this story. Beautiful story, definitely Latin flair. She always does that, and I love it so, so much. The mix of them was just beautiful. Page turner. I definitely promise you will not like this book. The only thing that I disliked was the fact that Gabe and Mitch were bi. I didn't think that was necessary. We all knew that they were going to be the love interest and it was going to be a happy ever after, because that's what we came here for, right? But to make them bi, I was like, why did you do that? That totally wasn't necessary. It just didn't make sense. It didn't need to happen. That was my only dislike with the book, but I loved it. The character development was amazing. I love that Gabe and his parents worked through their issues in the book. He grew and matured, and they were able to get a better relationship, because part of him running and leaving New York was to escape his father and the kind of tumultuous relationship he thought they had, when realistically he was just young and didn't understand a lot of stuff at the time. So yeah, definitely a great read. Yeah, so what I recommend, absolutely, you're gonna love this book. Just top tier. She did it again. I cannot wait for what she's gonna do next. This book was just fabulous. Just read stars. 5 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5, even though the mention of the bi, it wasn't aggressive. It was just it was just a little sprinkle of it. It was just mentioned and that was it. There wasn't any going back to it, and it wasn't flowing throughout the book. So I'm just gonna do that. But that's my point. Still, like, it didn't need to be mentioned, but yeah, great book. I mean, I loved it. I love the character development. I love the characters. I just love the chemistry between the characters, the love, the romance of it all. It was just so charming. Like I said, my expectations were superseded. It was great. Definitely check this book out, you guys. If you haven't already, be sure to check it out. Next, we have Men of Action. This book, Desperate Measures. This book is a part 2. I need to go back and read part 1. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Brenda Jackson. When I tell you guys, Brenda Jackson is the greatest of all time when it comes to romance novels. Tried and proven. Leave me some recommendations below if you feel there's somebody that's your favorite romance author. Because I mean, words can't describe how just spectacular she writes. You're in a trance, in a different place. Like, there's nothing so perfect in her books. It's not reality. It's just so perfect that you just like, where am I? It's an escape, and I just love that about her. I first discovered her when I was in New York, and I was with family, and I went to the library. I'm a reader, like I said, I was a reader. So my cousins took me to the library, and I put up on one of her books somehow. I don't even know, and I had to go back, and I went and I got a rest. And then after I read those, that library didn't have any more, so I had to go. My cousins was so annoyed with me, but I was like, we could check this library out, because it's in New York. There's different libraries in, I don't even want to say towns, but boroughs, and they knew New York. They lived there, so I was like, could you please take me to? That's a library. Okay, we could go there. Like, we would be passing on the bus, and they'd be like, oh, that's a library, and I'll be like, okay, so we could come back and try this library, because there's an author that I'm looking for. So we would go to different libraries to find books, and I would find her books in the different libraries and read them, and then just always want more. After that, there was no letting her down. Like, I would buy them. I would have the Kindle app on my phone. I was just reading. I was entranced by her style of writing. She is definitely on the spicy, sexy side, but when I tell you, it's a break. It's a trip. You are traveling, when you read her books. It's like, it's not reality. There's reality mixed in, obviously, but I mean, she writes in such a manner that you like, I can't put this book down. There's no way. Like, I read that book in 2 days. In 2 days, I finished that book. Like, I stayed up all night last night because I had to finish it. 1, because I know I was going to be filming, 1, because it was just so good, and 2, because I know I was going to be filming, but just fantastic. I can't sing enough of her praises. But this book was the love story of Dakota and Amelia, and it was just the epitome of fire and desire. And I'm saying this about this book, but this is every book that she writes. It's like, you just can't have a favorite, because every book is your favorite. That's literally how she writes. All right, if you're looking for escape, this book is it. She's it, but this book was just amazing. It dropped the 21st. So it dropped the 21st, and I didn't get to start reading it until I think Wednesday, like afternoon, and I just couldn't put this book down. It was just great. My likes, the characters, Dakota, of course, was my favorite character. You guys gotta read this book. And the plot. She just writes in such a way that there's action. And like I said, the name of the book is Men of Action. So this book was super action-packed. But Desperate Measures also was, like, that's the secondary title of the book, because Men of Action is kind of like a series. She has book 1, this was book 2. Fabulous. Like, dislikes none, favorite, all of it. Would I recommend? Absolutely. Just read stars, 10 out of 10. Just amazing. Check her out if you haven't. And like I said, if you feel like an author that's the greatest of all time in romance, definitely drop them below, because I have not found anybody. And I love everybody. Like, I love so much different romance authors, but she is just... And I will read everyone else, and then she drops a book and I'm reminded who she is. It's just like, she just does that every time. Moving on to Life Unscheduled by Kristen Rockaway. So this book I actually listened to on Kindle Unlimited, the Audible, remember, read for free. So you could read/listen for free, which is super exciting because I got 2 books in this month that I was able to listen to, which is fabulous because, like I said, I'm really busy and I am pushing it so hard. And yeah, to be able to listen to this book, which I literally just finished this morning, I was like, I have to finish. It was great. The title caught me because it's Life Unscheduled, and I am a planner, I'm a scheduler. Everything is in my phone. Like, I know what's happening, when what's happening. So with that being said, you sometimes tend to overplan, you sometimes tend to overstress. So I was like, let me read this book. And when I tell you, this book was so interesting. It was different from what I was expecting because she's like, was on a different level of scheduling and planning. She's like the type of person that plans when she gonna go bathe. Like, that type of stuff is like, who does that? Like, but that's to the level that she was on. I'm not there, nowhere near there, but I'm intentional. I made it my goal. A big goal for me this year was to really be intentional and to stick to goals I have for myself. And I'm proud of myself because as things add on and as I add things to my plate, or things are added to my plate, I'm still able to manage and be intentional about everything and say, this is this time, this is the time for this is the time for that. So with that being said, here I am filming because it's going to happen. But so this book, I was like, maybe this book would be a funny read to help me wind down with my expectations of how everything is supposed to go and I have to plan everything, which it was. She was at a different level. She was obsessed with work, planned everything, like I said, down to when she can bathe. It was just so crazy. And that living like that leads to a lonely life because nobody wants to feel like there's something on your schedule that you just have to kind of do. So she learned that and was able to turn it around. She was able to really be in a relationship because she was saying she didn't have time for one. So it was really a good book because you learn balance, that everything is in balance. It's like you can be lonely and nobody gonna want to be with you if you keep this up of schedule, plan, you gotta take it easy. So that was really good. She changed her habits and learned a balance and things in the very end, and it was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. It showed me that I'm not as bad as I think I am, and that I really need to relax and stop stressing about stuff. So I really appreciate books like this because I schedule. I'm a big planner. So yeah, really, and it had some jokes in it too. Dislikes. Once again, there was a mention of lesbians, and I was kind of like, why? Like, once again, it didn't call for it. It was mentioned very briefly. I just don't get this culture of bringing that into everything. It just is. If it's not necessary to me, it's not. My favorite part was definitely when she quit her job, when she realized that they weren't adding any value to her life. because it was a situation of her being promoted, of the fact of her just not having a life because they wanted to own her life. I was just like, yeah, go ahead and quit that job. And she did it then. So I was super happy for her about that. Also, the fact that her and Brandon were able to work it out in the end, I just thought that was amazing. I was so happy for her. Would I recommend? Absolutely. Especially for the people like myself that tend to overplan and, take it a little too seriously. Sometimes you could just let life happen. I know it's hard because when you're driven and you're trying to be intentional, you're trying to make every minute count and not let time get wasted, because that's my issue. But sometimes you just need to take a chill pill and just kind of let things happen. It's okay. Yes, I know you feel like you're going to have to borrow time from someplace else, but it's a stress that you wear that you don't need to wear. So this book I highly recommend. Could everybody read this book? For sure. You could read it, you could listen to it. Like I said, check out Kindle Unlimited. It is a great deal. And I think a lot of people could benefit from it. So definitely check it out. And yeah, so just 3 stars. This book definitely got 5 out of 5 stars. It was just a nice, funny, but thought-provoking book. So yes, definitely check all of these books out. Once again, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing your comments. Be sure to like this video. And I'm really going to try for Booktober. I'm going to try my hardest, but I know that's going to be really hard. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video. Toodles!